Hi everyone, this is Casey from Simply Sweet Scrappers. Welcome to another Fantastic Friday. Today I'm going to be using some papers that I printed from shabbyprincess.com. This one is from their Christmas 2006 collection. I just took a piece of craft cardstock, folded it in half to make an A2 size card. Just line it up in the corners. Take your bone folder and just fold it. Get your edges nice and crisp. And then I'm going to take these papers and arrange them how I would want them. You can put them in any order. There's no specific order that you have to put them in. Just be creative. I got this polka dot. I really like the greens and the blues and the reds together, so that's why I went ahead and picked this. I thought it would make a cute, simple Christmas card, and that's what we all need in our life right now, because it's getting to the point where it's Christmas, Thanksgiving's coming, and people are in and out of our houses, and we want something quick but personable. So I am adhering. I'm just using some Tombow mono adhesive, and I'm just adhering these squares down, just kind of how I think I would want them. And I'm not pushing them down yet because I want to be able to move them if I need to. Like this one, I need to move over a little bit. So if they're not perfect, that's fine. That's why it's homemade. It's not store-bought because it's not done by a machine. Just sticking some adhesive onto these squares. I'm going to put this green one right here. Right underneath. I'm going to leave like maybe an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch. Sorry, quarter of an inch. You can leave as much room as you want. I'm going to put ribbon at the bottom. All these papers were printed from shabbyprincess.com. They are free. I've never really printed any scrapbook papers, so I figured that this would be something different. And let's see. And I love using the Uniball Signo broad pen. We're going to use that. And let's line this one up. Just like that. And bring that one down to just a hair. And we'll have to straighten this one up. Anyway, you can mess with them until you get them the way that you want them. If it takes a couple of times, that's fine. It's why I didn't press them down yet. I think that looks good. Okay, now that I've got them the way I want them, I can go ahead and press them down. You don't have to put adhesive on all four sides. You can just put it on one. On two sides. You don't have to put it on all four. Okay, now we've got those down. I cheated. I put this on another card and then I messed up the card, so I had to pull it off. These squares are cut at 1.5 by 1.5. So if you had to make another bow, you would just, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. I'm just using some Christmas ribbon from 2008. It's from American Crafts. These were their dollar spools. Anyway, I'm going to measure out how much ribbon I'm going to need. I think that's good right there. That's good right there, so I'm just going to cut that and move that out the way. I'm going to come in here and we're going to do left over right and tuck it under. And then pull it tight. Don't pull it so tight to where your card bows. Put your finger down. And then we're going to do right over left. And when we do right over left, pull the left more than the right. See how it's pulling that down a little more than the right. And then you just turn your ribbon the way that you want it. See, I want the snowflakes facing out, so I turned it to where the snowflakes are. And then pull it kind of tight. And when you pull it tighter, then it just holds them in place, and that when you turn it, when you pull it tight, it holds it in place so where it won't flip back. And then you have a nice flat ribbon, or nice flat knot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot this up to the edge of my papers. I'm going to cut this, I'm going to trim this off. Just like that. I'm not going to throw those away. I'm going to save my scraps. And just line this up, get it even. Twist your ribbon a little bit if you need to make it lay flat. I'm going to use just a little bit of my mono adhesive, just a tiny bit. That way I can get it where I want it and just lightly tap it to where it's not sliding all over the place. Okay, actually not yet, because we're going to do my, now I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So actually I'm going to move this up just a bit. And I'm using Versamark ink. It's just the regular, it's not the Dazzle or anything, it's just the regular. And I've got this little sentiment, it says Merry Christmas. What I'm going to do is just ink it up real good. And I rock mine back and forth sometimes. Some people don't like to do that, but I do. And then just place it on here. If you have a Stamp-A-Majig, it would be nice to use right now, so that you can get it exactly where you want it. Press down and then pull straight up. Make sure you put the cover back on your Versamark. And I'm going to use a scratch piece of paper. I'm actually going to fold this scratch piece of paper in half first. That way I have a crease for my embossing powder to go down into. But we've embossed this up. Now I'm using clear, I'm just using clear embossing powder, because I don't want it to be white. I just want it to show up just a bit. There. Doesn't matter how much of the embossing powder you use. Just flick it off. If you need to flick it from the back, flick it from the back. And I don't know if you can see that, but we now have the embossing powder over the top. If you've got a little spot that you can tell doesn't have enough, just sprinkle it on there. Okay, and so we're going to take the embossing powder and put it back into our container. I do that before I do anything else. That way I don't make a mess. Let's set our paper aside, set our embossing powder aside. Grab our heat gun. I just have the Paper Studio ink gun, or heat gun. And then I'm just gonna heat this up until it melts. You'll see when it begins to melt. See how when it starts to turn a real shiny color? Then you know it's all melted. And we can turn that off. And now we have our sentiment. And when it cools off, it's just like this real shiny, awesome sentiment. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this ribbon back down here like that. And remember, I put the sticking on there, the adhesive on the back of the ribbon. Well, I'm going to arrange my ribbon a little bit to where they point up a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to slide this right here. Make sure it's straight. And just lightly tap that to where it goes. That way we still see our Merry Christmas. Okay, I'm almost finished. So the only thing I've got left to do is I want to add some faux stitching with my Uniball Signo Broad pen. I love this pen. Let me get it started. I'm just over here. There. Okay, you can just freehand it. It's no big deal. The best way to do it is plant your hand and move your pen. Just start here. I'm going to use kind of big stitches. I'm going to go all the way around the card. Normally I would do smaller stitches, but today I just feel like a big stitch would be fine. And then just turn your card, plant your hand, and I usually go down and up on my stitches. That way I know I get good ink coverage, and if it skipped when it was going down, I can cover it back up when it's going back up. And then I'm going to turn it again and go along the bottom. Be careful not to smudge it. It will smudge until it's dry. If you get to a point where one of them has a skip or has a spot, just let it dry a little bit and then lightly go back over it. And it will cover back up. And then finish it off by going down this side. And there you go. Now we have a cute, wonderful little Christmas card. If you need to mess with your ribbon, you can mess with it as much as you want. You can untie it, whatever. And there you have a quick and simple Christmas card. And you made it. If you have any comments or questions, please post them here on the bottom. I'll get back to them as soon as possible. And thank you for joining me for a fantastic Friday. Join me again for Monday for a marvelous Monday, and I'll have something new. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, everyone.